and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you getting into my weekly check-in for the month of February. We're going to go over my process on how I decide how much to budget for each week and what I do in certain circumstances when I'm over budget and why I allow myself to do that, and what is the thought process in the income that comes in and how that reflects in the spending categories. So that's what we're going to do today, and so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm back and here we go. So for me to explain how I come up with my weekly check-ins, I have to begin at the monthly budget. And I have to look at the numbers that I gave myself for the entire month of February in order to decide how much for each category and how to divide it throughout the month of February, whether it's a 4-week or a 5-week division. So that is where I get started. I have a little note paper here that I write everything down. This is February spending categories. My grocery household, which is this one right here, I always start with $1,600. So I have $1,600 for the for the month of February, and I divide it by 4 weeks, giving me $400 a week. Typically, I have a 5-week month, but February is a short month. It's 29 days. It is a leap year this year, so that's interesting. And so that's how I came up with how to divide the total for the month. Now, because right now in our situation with my family, all this cash was sitting in my checking account ready to go for the month, and it doesn't get touched until either a bill comes out of the checking account, which I check off over here, or if I'm ready to pay the credit card every Thursday during my weekly check-ins, so I can bring my credit card back to zero, because all of our spending goes on our credit card and some of our bills. So that is what we're going to look at today. I always start with this page so that I know how much I plan for the month. That is a large amount for 4 adults. It's $1,600. If you divide that by 4 adults for the month, that's $400 per adult. I have 2 adult sons who are autistic, and they have things that they need and they want. So I just kind of commingle it all into our budget, and I budget high for these categories. We don't always spend it all, but if we have money left over, then we either save it or make a different decision later at the end of the month. But I always start with this at the beginning of the month. I think about 3 or 4 years ago, this used to be like $1,100. Now it's up to $1,600, just because of inflation and the cost of things. And when I moved from one state to another, the prices were much higher here than it was from where I left. So this is just how the budget worked out. Now, this also counts for restaurants, miscellaneous, gasoline, and copay. So I have all those numbers. Restaurants was $500 for the entire month, and that's $125 a week. $500 again for miscellaneous, as you can see here, and that's $125 for the week. Gasoline, I did budget high for $300, divided by 4, which is $75 a week. We are going to travel a little bit this weekend, so we're going to spend a little extra gas, but this way it's all covered. And $25 a week for copays for medications and doctor's appointments and things like that. We usually can keep it under $100 a month. So this is the month. Again, all of this money is sitting in the checking account. So this is how I compensate for the fact if I decide to go over budget 1 week on spending because there's something that was either on sale or we needed to get before the next time period. We can go over budget, but as long as we stay within these numbers for the whole month, we are good to go. So that is how I come up with my weekly numbers. So let's go back to the weekly check-in. And I've already written those numbers down here. This month, because it was a 4-week month, I had more room, so I went ahead and wrote all 6 categories in here. Typically, I can only get 4 in here on one page, but I was able to get all 6, so I went ahead and did that. And I think going forward, I'm going to do that again, but my weekly check-ins will be on 2 pages, not 1 page. So just because I have 6 categories, I'm trying to get it all in there. Okay, now that you know where I get these numbers from in the monthly budget, and I transfer here every week, and they're the same every week, I just follow these numbers at the top and add and subtract as I need to go throughout the budget. And I'll show you that when I'm ready to set up these numbers from my calendar page. So let's find out what I spent the first week of February. Okay, so here's my February calendar. This is still Sara Marie stickers. I have not bought any new stickers from Sara Marie since December. Her February kits went up in December, so I was like, this is my last chance to be able to buy them. And so I went ahead and got this monthly kit, and I think it's just gorgeous. It looks beautiful. But I'm excited to still be able to use this. So, but here is what we spent for the first week of February. Typically I would do a Friday to Thursday. Today is Thursday. This video will go up Friday. But a Friday to Thursday weekly check-in. But I'm doing a Thursday to Thursday because it's the start of the new month, and I didn't want this to count in December. January. Oh, my months are all confused. That's okay. So I did do a lot of heavy spending in groceries and household. So my grocery household is combined together. My budget is set up to where I can buy what I want whenever I want without having to think. It's a stress-free budget for me. That is why I budget high, and that is why I allow myself to go over. I don't worry about it because I know by the end of the month I won't be spending as much, and it will still stay within the budget that I planned for the entire month. When I go over every week or go over budget in the week, maybe not every week, but sometimes during the weeks, it's okay. For me, it's okay. I am willing to pay for that some other way. I will not buy anything or spend anything I don't have cash for, that I can't pay off right away. So I have my budget set up to where I can go to the grocery store every day of the week and it'd be fine, or just once or twice in a week and it'll still be fine. It just depends on what mood I'm in and if I'm busy or what's going on. It just depends. So now that you understand a little bit better of how I budget, and it's very fluid and that it's very flexible and I'm not very strict on what I do, I think that bothers some people, and I do apologize, but that's just who I am, and I'm not going to change that. Yeah, I like that about myself. I love that I have that ability to be that flexible, especially since we are consumer debt free. Being consumer debt free does give a lot of flexibility and the ability to increase or decrease what you're spending on, and just enjoy life as it happens. So let's go ahead and do the weekly check-in. We always start with grocery household first. I have all the different transactions listed here. And the first one I have is grocery household here for Myers at $172.67. So I'm going to check that off. What I got here, over $30 of this was actually ground beef. I stocked up. They had a buy one get one half price on ground beef, and I rarely get that. I rarely get the ground beef at that particular price, especially the type I buy. I buy the leanest meat I can find, which is like a 93.7 or something like that. Very low fat, very low grease and all that. I prefer the cook that way. That is what makes me happy. That is what's best for my family. So I'm willing to pay for something like that. I bought a lot of snacks, a lot of on-the-go snacks during this, because my husband is working. I've already announced this. He has a new job. He's happy as can be. He's smiling going to work. He's smiling coming home from work. He's doing the thing he's dreamed his whole life since he graduated high school and started college 20 some years ago. And now he gets to do the job he really wants to do, and God has blessed us in that. So we're really excited about that. And so I wanted to make sure that he had snacks while he was traveling around, because he has to drive a lot of places, an hour away or more. He basically leaves from home and goes to different places and does his job and then comes back home. He rarely goes to the office except for maybe once a week to do paperwork. And the office is like 45 minutes from our house. So yeah, it's one of those types of jobs, and it's an environmental job, and he loves it. So I was just testing out different food and snack items that are portable, that he can take with him and have so he has something to eat. So I just bought a whole bunch of stuff. So it may seem unnecessary, but I'm enjoying it, even though he hasn't eaten into some of it. I've gotten into some of it. It's really good stuff. So I'm really happy about what I chose, and I think he'll like it. So that's really good. So here, this $24 purchase was liquid IV. It's something we get regularly. We get 3 or 4 different flavors. It's a lot of money, but the one thing I've noticed with my husband drinking the liquid IV is he doesn't have the headaches he used to. And for me, that's worth every penny. This is a lifestyle choice that we've made. So if it's not something I could afford, I wouldn't buy it. But because it is something we can afford, we're going to buy it. And it helps him so much. So he takes that on the road and he can just mix it with water and he's good to go. It's a split purchase. So this $29.90 and this $24 actually is one purchase combined, but since it's Amazon, part of what I was getting was miscellaneous and part of what I was getting was groceries, so I split it up here. So over here I have Meijer again for $122.91. Now this is not a necessary grocery purchase. This grocery purchase had a lot of extra items that I normally wouldn't get because I'm trying to figure out snacks and stuff my husband can take while he's driving around. So he doesn't get too hungry and things like that. And here was all coupons. So my grocery store sent a bunch of really good coupons. Some of them were 50% off, some of them were $1.25 each, some of them were whatever the coupon was. So I decided to go ahead and take those coupons, go to the grocery store after church, and grab everything, because they were physical coupons that came in the mail. I couldn't use them with my grocery pickup, so I had to go in the store. So I went in the store, supervised by my husband, thankfully, and got what was on those coupons and then bought all that stuff. Now that was $122.91 worth of stuff that we would use throughout the month that I was able to get at a better price all at once, and I won't have to buy it again later. That's just how I looked at it. I stocked up on some things. I bought things I didn't really need right now, but because I had the coupon, I went ahead and did it. Now, I could have waited, absolutely. Coupon didn't actually expire until the first couple of days of March, but I am one of those that always forgets our coupons, always forgets to use them, even if you take them to the store with you. I just can never remember. I try, I fail. I just do. So the best way I've remedied that is to actually just do a coupon grocery run and pick up everything, all the items that are on sale, and with a coupon, I do it all in one big purchase. So that might be a little risky and that might be difficult, but that's what I do. And it works for me, and that's how I do it. So next, I have $120.76, and this was our normal grocery run. So these first two were just a lot of coupons, a lot of extra stuff for like sandwiches and lunches to go for my husband, just trying to get used to this new job, and then spending on the coupons and things that are regular for our family. Normally I would not have this kind of spending, but that's what we had this week, and I love that I gave myself the flexibility of going over budget because I could get this done early and I didn't have to think about it later. I did it when I wanted to, and so that is what I did there. Let's go ahead and total up what I have spent so far. All right, $440.34. So I am over budget by $40.34. And again, I kind of create my budget in a way that's fluid enough that if I was over budget one week, I'm fine. I could reduce what I spent the next week and just pay attention. But everything I did was intentional and on purpose. And I'm good with that as well. So that is that. Restaurants, we had, let's see here, we had our Friday night eating out night. My boys ordered their pizza, and we went out, my husband and I went out to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's just, we're in such a small town, there's not that many places to go out to eat, but it's right down the road. So we went there, and then grocery shop, after grocery shop we went to Taco Bell after running around a bit. So let's go ahead and check that off. And this was all our eating out. All right, so that was $114.94. We did stay in budget this time, so that was awesome. I don't know what I'm going to do about next week's. I'll have to decide next week because my parents are driving in town this weekend, and I'll be seeing them here, and I'll see my father-in-law here, and so there might be a lot more eating out. And I'm going to have to think on that. I'm going to have to look at what the total is for the month, and if I feel I need to get the money elsewhere or something like that, then I will decide that next week, is what I'm trying to say. All right, miscellaneous. We have this first one, this one on Amazon here. I ordered, if you were watching the end of January video, I ordered the wrong size underwear for one of my sons, and so I had to order the next size up, and that's what this is. It replaced that. I didn't send the others back, I just gave it to his brother because it fit his brother, and we left it at that. Oops, I forgot to check these off. I have medical condition of neuropathy in my feet, where it tingles and pins and needles and all that sensation that you see in all the commercials. And so I use ice packs quite frequently. I have an ice pack under my feet right now. It keeps the nerves calm and keeps my feet from burning and having those sensations. So I'm on ice packs all the time. But I wanted 2 new ones I can wrap around my ankles because sometimes it hurts there as well. So I got 2 ice packs that wrapped around the ankles, and that was $29.90. And then over here we went to Harbor Freight, which is like a hardware store. My husband was looking for like a yellow reflective vest that like construction workers use, because he's going to, with his job, he's going to sites where he has to wear a hard hat and things like that. And where he worked, they didn't have any yet. So he ran and got one of his own. And it was only $9.53. They may reimburse him. I don't know. If he doesn't, it's fine. It's just less than $10. It's not that big a deal. So that is that. Let's see here. So let's total that up. All right, that was $65.39. Great on miscellaneous. Oops, wrong number. I did have a thought, if we can keep miscellaneous low by the end of the month, low enough that we have like maybe $200 left, I think at the end of the month I'm going to give me and my husband personal money, wrote the wrong number again, of $100 each. And if we can work that into our budget, then I may scale back our miscellaneous to $300 instead of $500. So there's that. But it's just a thought. We haven't figured it out yet. The last thing we have, I forgot to check it off, is gasoline. So my husband filled up his Jeep for $38.77, and there we go there. No adding necessary. And that is all the transactions that we have for the weekly check-in. So let's go ahead and take these and put these here and figure out where we were over, where we were under. It's pretty obvious where we were over, and what does next week look like, and what kind of boundaries have I set for myself. So we spent $440.34 here. We spent $114.94. And I always do them in this, write them in the same order that I list everything everywhere, so I don't make a mistake on where I'm putting what. So $65.39 for miscellaneous. Gas was $38.77. Copay was $0, and unbudgeted was $0. There we go. So that's easy. 0 for the balance, thankfully. $25 still left in copay. So let's start at the top. I know I filled these in, but let's start at the top here and work our way down on what's unbudgeted and what is not. I'm going to get my red pen ready. And here we go. So that one, we don't even need a calculator. That is negative $40.34. My hands are hurting today, so my writing is horrible. 125 minus the 114.94 is $10.06. And then 125 minus 65.39, and that gives us 59.61. And then our gasoline was $75, and we only used $38.77. So that gives us $36.23. All right, since I spent more than I had planned for week 1, that means I have to reduce what I planned for week 2. It's almost like borrowing from week 2. Now keep in mind, all of the week's money is in the checking account. I can spend it at any time, but I try to limit how much each week so I don't go overboard and not have enough to pay the credit card off. So I just need to keep in mind I went over $40 here, so that $400 I have right here, I'm just going to remove $40.34 of that, and that covers the cost of what I overspent here, and that leaves me some money left, $359 left, which should be fine. I bought so much stuff, we should be good for a while in grocery household. There might be, like, I gotta get coffee creamer and stuff like that, but $359.66 is the new beginning budget, and I just keep balancing it forward, whatever's left in the balance column, and adding what I planned for the week. That is how I bring my budget. Now some people may start with, okay, the entire month is $400 and then subtract as they go. I don't do that. I give myself a little bit every week and then hopefully stay in those boundaries, and if I don't, I better have the cash to pay for it, or I'm going to have to quit using the credit card. So that is how I keep myself in check. If I can't pay off the credit card, I'm not allowed to use it. So I always make sure it's paid off. It's a discipline I have given for myself. So I have $10.06 left over here. I'm going to add the $125 for this week on restaurants, and that gives me $135.06. I have $59.61 plus $125, and that gives me $184.61. And then gasoline, I have $36.23, and I'm adding $75 a week. That should be enough for our travels, $111.23 for the weekend. I'm excited because my parents are coming into town. So excited. All right, so I did not spend anything in copay. It's $25, and this week is also $25, so that's $50 for any medications or copays for that week, and it's always 0 for unbudgeted. So now I have week 2 set up, and that is the end of my weekly check-in. But I'm not done because I have to take these totals and then include the bills to find out how much I need to pay the credit card. So if you're only here for the weekly check-in, I'm done with that. Now we're going to look at the credit card statement, or actually my credit card transaction log, and everything that went on the credit card. So all the spending went on the credit card, and then some bills went on the credit card. This darker blue is the bills, and the colors for like grocery, household, and stuff like that, and restaurants, miscellaneous, gasoline, they're the same colors as my stickers, and it's just easier to have the same thing going. I did get a refund from Amazon on something I purchased, and it never was mailed or sent or anything like that, so they gave me my $10.59 back, which I actually forgot about. Didn't even know it happened until they reminded me and said, hey, this hasn't shipped. I'm like, oh, okay, just refund it. But you do see this gray here. I haven't decided on this one. This is something I haven't figured out yet. So I'll get to that at the end. Let's go over the bills. The bills I have here, $87 for God's Pantry, which is a tithing. Yeah, we put it on the card, but I pay it off. You know, I don't pay interest on the card. It's not that big a deal. It's just because it's over the internet. I'd rather do it that way. 166.24 is our Spectrum cable internet phone that got charged to the credit card. $10.59. That bill got charged, which is my husband's music. He has specific music that he's used this app for a long time, and he keeps wanting to pay for it. And I'm like, okay. And so we do. I don't know. I don't understand how to use it. And then $6.99 for Paramount Plus. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep that. I have talked to my husband about that one. So those are the only bills that came charging to the credit card. The rest of them actually just come straight out of the checking account, and I just check it off as we go, like our mortgage and things like that. So let's go ahead and total all these numbers up, and I will be right back. All right, so we had $270.82 that was put on the credit card for our bills that we need to pay as well. And I'm going to add that plus the $65.39 plus the $38.77 and the $440.34 and $114.94. I think that's everything. Yep, that's everything. So right now, sitting on my credit card, that's what I have, $930.26. That is what I owe the credit card company, and I'll be making a payment after I get off the, when I get done filming here, and that will be that. So I did say I would talk about this gray charge here. This is my spending tracker. It's actually a credit card transaction log, but it's the spending on the credit card. My son and I love to go to Raleigh, North Carolina in the summer and go to GalaxyCon. If you've seen my channel for a while, you've seen me talk about this. I talk about how I budget for it and how much I spend. I spend a lot of money and we save up all year. And this year we're not going to GalaxyCon in Raleigh, North Carolina. My parents are planning to move away from the area, and we really won't have much of a reason to go back. And right now, I'm not really seeing a lot of celebrities coming that I would really want to kind of go and see. So we thought we would try out a new one here about an hour away in Lexington, because 45 minutes to an hour away, called Lexington Con. And so I bought 2 tickets. Now my son's paying for 1 ticket, and then I'm going to pay for my ticket, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use my personal money or that I have kind of left over from previous months, or if I am going to, I'm not sure where the money's coming from. So I don't want to include it in the budget just yet, because me and my husband are going to be talking about this weekend, and we'll make a final decision before next week on where the money is coming from. Justin, my oldest son, will be paying $70, and I'll be paying $70 basically. And then we got to figure out how to get cash, because when you go to cons and stuff, they prefer cash over credit. Though a lot of them do have like those Square charging cards and stuff like that. But when they can take credit cards, but I have no ATMs for cash, and if we're going to do like autographs and stuff, it's very easy to hand cash over to, because not all of them take credit cards, and you don't know which ones do and do not take credit cards. Some celebrities do, some celebrities don't. And so far my son only has 3 people that he wants to see, so that is that. So that is why I have that charge there, and then this is that refund from Amazon, didn't show up. And as you can see here, what I came up with for what I owe the credit card for all this spending is this exact same thing that I had here before these 2 transactions, $930.26. So I definitely keep this credit card paid off every week, and it's so worth doing. as far as if you can keep it under control and be someone who is disciplined in it, it's definitely, I think it's worth doing. But if you keep getting into debt with it, don't do it. Just don't. Yeah. And that is that. So this is my weekly check-in and my spending and everything that we did for the week. And I am done. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care.